Oscar. God, I can't think. I need more Mullins.
Hello and welcome back to The Office Field Guide. I'm Chris from Wolverine Films and we're reviewing every episode of The Office ever. Today we are not looking at a single episode, instead we are looking at all of season 4. And there's so much to unpack in this 14 episode season. And in my season wrap-up guides, they're a little different from the field guides of an episode. We pretty much have the same format, but it's extra special. We'll spend a little time looking at the main plot points, some of my thoughts, look at the deeper meaning, and some of the highlights and lowlights of this season. So let's wrap this one up.
Just explain what that is.
Explain what you think that is.
Okay. Just explain that.
Okay, so season 4. Michael is the primary focus of this season. He was passed over for the job at corporate at the end of the last season, and Michael's reeling to reconcile his dreams of becoming a successful career man and family man. We get to see the dysfunction of his relationship with Jan ultimately climaxing in the dinner party. And after their breakup, Michael attempts to find success in dating and in his job. The season also shows the arc of Jim and Pam's relationship developing from new and hidden.
Almost marrying Roy Anderson was as close to Pamela Anderson as I ever want to be. Trust me, when I fall in love, you'll know.
To out in the open.
You know what? Screw this.
Oh. Ooh.
Bow.
Ultimately alluding to an engagement coming in the near future.
I'm going to propose tonight. Holy crap.
And the other big arc explored in this season is what I've been calling the Sprinkle Saga, which started with Dwight mercy killing Angela's cat, Sprinkles, and concludes with Angela and Andy engaged, and Angela cheating on Andy with Dwight.
No one asked you anything ever?
And so before we even get into my thoughts of this season, we need to talk about the writer's strike of 2007-2008. If you were ever wondering why season 4 of The Office is so weird with its hour-long episodes and the fact that it's only 14 episodes, this is why. And I don't want to spend too much time breaking down the intricacies of this strike, but essentially it came down to the Writers Guild feeling slighted by the industry due to residual income from DVD sales. And the writers would get residuals from these sales, but the agreed amount income from DVDs came from an agreement when the video industry was first taking off and production and distribution costs were extremely high. As such, the amount provision to the writers' residuals was really low, like really low. As technology increased, the cost for distributing and manufacturing of content became cheaper and cheaper until the advent of the DVD, which even lessened the cost more and brought about a whole new revenue source for the media giants, as DVDs and a higher resolution meant people were scrapping their old VHSs and buying the same movie on DVD. In all of this, the writers were still only making 0.3% on the first $1 million of movies sold on the home market, and then 0.36% thereafter. To make that a little easier to understand, if 1 million copies of a DVD sold for $15 a piece, the media company would make $15 million. Of course, that's not purely profit. You have to factor in the cost from manufacturing, distribution, and all the residuals, which I don't care to actually do or research or calculate or even talk about. But the writers were only getting 0.3% on the first million and 0.36% thereafter. Thus, their residual income to be split across all the writers for a project for a home market sale of $15 million was a grand total of approximately $53,000. Guys, LA is expensive. And I'm pretty sure that's just the average cost of putting gas in your car. Regardless, feeling slighted by the media companies from the home video market boom, the next boom was in the mix, and that was the internet age. Today we have so many options to watch our content. I haven't watched a scripted and produced TV show on primetime television since Lost ended. It was a great show, I love that show. Let's talk about that at some point. But the Guild knew that this new media opportunity was going to be a boom, and they were negotiating for fair residual cost.
Anytime I meet somebody who's a new viewer of The Office, overwhelmingly they're watching it on the internet, they're watching it on DVD.
which seems wise, but I mean, I don't know. What I do know is that the Writers Guild negotiations started heating up earlier in 2007, but reached a head in November when the Guild issued a strike and wreaked havoc across the industry. And as you know, some of the writers of this series are also prominent actors, including Paul Lieberstein as Toby, Mindy Kaling as Kelly, and BJ Novak as Ryan Howard. And the fourth season of The Office premiered on NBC in late September 2007. And though NBC had ordered 30 episodes of The Office for season 4, only 19 half hours were created. And for timing's sake, there were 5 hour-long episodes produced, coming up with a grand total of 14 unique episodes for that season. Seeing the writing on the wall, the showrunners, producers, writers, even the staff scrambled to take ideas that had been planned for season 4 and reduce the 30 half-an-hour episodes to 14 episodes, with 5 of them being hour-longs. Then when the writer's strike hit officially in early November 2007, NBC could essentially only release what had been produced content as planned, but announced that the show was going to go off the air until the strike had been settled and the show could come back on. And this strike lasted 14 weeks.
11 cents for every 200 trillion downloads. They apparently won't even pony up for the like $28 it costs to buy us an actual Emmy.
And in February of 2008, the writer's room of The Office was buzzing again. The last aired episode during the strike was The Deposition, which was the breaking point with Michael and Jan. The show came back with such a force with the dinner party episode. It was like all that pent-up creativity just burst forth. So yeah, that's why this season is really weird. If you want to learn more about the writer's strike, I'll leave some links in the description of this video below. But it does make me wonder, out of those 30 episodes, what was cut from this season? Maybe we get to see more of Jim and Pam? I mean, I'm not judging, but their relationship progresses really fast in this season. I mean, Jim's been waiting on this for a really long time, and they are perfect for each other. But it does seem that there is some depth of their relationship that just gets skipped. Perhaps, maybe that was planned to be fleshed out more. Maybe we would have gotten more on the downfall of Dwight and Angela. I know the proposal is the catalyst that turns Angela back to Dwight, but it's kind of sudden. And I wonder what the writers could have done with more of a slow burn effect here. And I don't know, maybe in the comments you tell me what might have been skipped over. But I will say, I think we owe the greatness of the dinner party episode to the writer's strike. And hopefully they're getting paid well for the amount of times that we're watching that episode. What else can we say about this season? As always, this is a show about characters. I love the story. I love stories about character growth, and The Office does it pretty well. Not always. There are some inconsistencies with Michael due to the various amount of writers that write for that part, but overall, we see some really good stuff in this season. First, we get to see Jam, PB&J, Jimothy and Pamela, whatever you want to call them. We get to see them have a full dating arc in this 14 episode season, which may seem rushed, but as Jim has said several times, he's been pretty much ready for this since the day he met Pam. He slow played from their beginning for so long due to Pam being with Roy. Then the flip-flopping happened. In season 3, we got to see Pam becoming her own woman, become confident. Now with Ryan creating a fire under Jim and Jim facing his future with Pam, he realizes that it's time to start engaging himself in his job and with Pam. We get to see PB&J's relationship shine through these moments too.
We haven't told anybody, but it's going really great. Right?
It is going really great.
You like it? It's kind of designy and cool. It was $8.
Oh, I get to carry it.
Okay. Okay, stand up. Okay, here we go. Everyone, this is a day that will live in infamy.
I think it is my job to destroy you when it comes to selling paper.
I wonder if Dwight thinks that the website sabotaged itself.
Yeah, I mean, she was with Roy, and I just couldn't take it. Animation? All her, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, just that shit.
And the animation was cool.
Thanks.
Hey, listen, you ever been on a motorcycle?
Would it help you to return to another age? A time of refinement and civility?
I don't know, because everything I own is there.
You can buy new stuff, but you can't buy a new party.
That's true.
Will you wait for me 1 second while I tie my shoe?
I hate you.
What? My shoe is untied.
By show of hands, who thinks we're a better couple than Jim and Pam?
Phyllis. Because you're very important.
And I love this moment where Pam knows that there's something wrong with Jim, even though she can't see him. She hears it in his voice.
Oh.
Guess he just got into the Pratt School of Design.
No way. What did I say? I said that they love those sketches. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, a lot of good stuff about Jim and Pam in this one. But, you know, we also get to see Michael. As I said earlier, this is Michael's season. We get to see a full arc of sorts in this season for Michael as well. It's painful to watch Michael pretend to have it all in the early parts of this season.
That's what I have to come home to. She probably won't be up for a few hours.
We know how badly he wants a family, but he's forcing it with Jan. We see as this season goes on how crippling this is on him. Michael starts with blind optimism in all things, not just Jan, but then that optimism hits a low point in the Survivor Man and dinner party. After that, it seems that Michael's resolute about getting his stuff together, but also being content with seeing how things really are. Of course, Michael isn't fixed. If he were, we wouldn't get all the good stuff out of his character. And then Ryan. We see Ryan enter the scene as a temp, the temp who became the executive, and the executive who went to jail. Ryan's character change is so abrasive that I don't know if it's good or bad writing. On one hand, we know that Ryan is ambitious. On the other hand, he's always been a relatively normal guy. But as soon as he has power, it's corrupted him immediately. What's more is that every episode we see Ryan, he becomes more and more disheveled as this season goes on. We see it in his appearance and his behavior. Even though he tries to keep things cool on the outside, we know that everything's falling apart on the inside. Just watch as we see Ryan's appearance change throughout this season.
I mean, I know what it means. It means very successful for your age.
Yes, facial hair. Look at him.
And I don't want us to get lost in the weeds or into a beauty contest.
How did Ryan use it as an object?
As an object.
Ryan used me as an object.
I'm here today to do some creative problem solving about Dunder Mifflin Infinity and field your questions.
You tell him that you're his friend and that you're going to help him and that everything's going to be all right.
A warning about your job performance.
A formal warning.
It's actually not a joke. I know how you spend your time here, and I know how little you care about your job.
It's the temp. Look.
Oh my gosh.
Temp.
Is that the police?
Yes. Well, this is what happened.
Dwight's arc in this season is one of slow burn character growth. Dwight has moved from a caricature of a person to someone who actually has depth and emotions. It's hard to say that Dwight grows as a character during this season because at one moment he's saying this.
Well, it's my own fault.
And the next moment he's doing this. So basically, they started this season out as a secret dating relationship and they ended this season as a secret dating relationship. But yeah, I mean, that's all my thoughts for season 4. I'm sure I've got a ton more, but I'll leave it at that for now.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
I'm going to say that the overall thesis for this season is be real. I think that every lesson, every arc, every character demonstrates this in some way, shape, or form. Let me just break it down real quick, rapid point style, and I promise I won't belabor any of these points. Michael starts this season off with extreme optimism, but it blinds him as to what his reality really is. Michael refuses to be real with Jan about their money situation, and it restricts him from his relationship being able to grow. Jan's clearly living in a fantasy world if she thinks she belongs with Michael Scott. This isn't the picket fence life she's been dreaming of, but she's doing her best to pretend it is. Dwight's lack of openness stops him from truly bonding with Jim during one of his most down times. Along with Ryan's promotion came foolish spending, a drug habit, and criminally fraudulent action, all of which he kept concealed. Angela's clearly not being real with Andy, even accepting a marriage proposal that we know is bound to fail. And Jim and Pam are the exemplary characters of this season. Their realness in their relationship is a key driver in the success and the happiness of their relationship. Jim willing to face who he is and how he's perceived by his management is what drives him to actually grow up. And Pam's willingness to face that she hasn't pursued her passions has finally driven her to follow her creativity. Overall, the message we walk away from this season with is be real with who we are, where we are, be real with each other, and with what we want. If we do that, it enables us to grow as characters in our own life. If we don't do that, we're fated to just repeat cycles.
Then I gotta get him to the Dundies.
All right, so my favorite thing to do in the season wrap-ups is to award some Dundies. It gives us a chance to dish out some awards for this season, so let's get started. The Dundie for the worst cold opening of season 4 goes to Job Fair.
Come on, show me excited.
I mean, it's barely a cold opening. I refuse to speak more on it. The Dundie for the best cold opening of season 4 goes to Fun Run.
Okay.
Hands down, there is something about this cold opening that just does it for me. I can't watch it without smiling at Steve Carell's performance, and hitting Meredith with his car is an all-time Office highlight for me.
Very blessed.
And the Dundie for the worst episode in season 4 goes to Launch Party.
What's hanging?
Set up the webcam for the party.
Oh, good. Okay, cool.
This episode's rough. The cold opening is great. I love it. Everything else is best described as meh. I rated it a 3 out of 5, which I think might have been overly generous. That might get addressed if I re-release the episode at some point. I might have just been in a really good and positive mood at that point. I don't know. And the Dundie for the best episode in season 4 goes to Dinner Party.
Kind of sort of an oaky afterbirth.
Okay, no brainer. Obviously, I talked about this for 37 straight minutes. Go watch that field guide again if you're curious. I love the Dinner Party. It's 22 minutes of comedic genius. All right, and so the nominees for the Dundie for the best Michaelism of season 4 are Superstitious.
To get rid of the curse that hit Meredith with my car. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Bankruptcy.
I declare bankruptcy!
Double Jeopardy.
Double Jeopardy. We are fine.
I don't think you understand how Jeopardy works.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. What is we're fine?
Utica.
And if you so much as harm a hair on Stanley's head, we will burn Utica to the ground.
How much blood can you donate?
Oh, can't go today because I'm donating blood.
How often can you actually donate blood?
Is there a limit?
Your body only has a certain amount.
And snip, snap, snip, snap.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap! I did! You have no idea the physical toll the 3 vasectomies have on a person!
And the Dundie for the best Michaelism of season 4 goes to I Declare Bankruptcy.
I declare bankruptcy!
I had an internal debate on this one between a few of these, but Steve Carell's performance of this is amazing. I don't know if anybody else could make this as funny as he does. It's amazing. All right, and the nominees for the Dundie for the best moment of season 4 are Michael and Jan's argument at the end of Dinner Party.
You're hardly my first.
That's what she said!
Michael hits Meredith with his car.
Very blessed.
The Branch Wars infiltration scene.
That is a terrible idea. Don't do this.
My hip bone! We're wedged between the cup here and the railing. Ow! God!
The local ad.
Dunder Mifflin. Limitless paper in a paperless world.
Michael declares bankruptcy.
I declare bankruptcy!
And Michael and Toby's exit interview.
Who do you think you are?
Toby.
I will give a couple honorable mentions to Did I Stutter?
Did I stutter?
Goodbye Toby song, and Jim and Dwight in the stairwell. And so the Dundie for the best moment of season 4 goes to Michael and Jan at the dinner party. I can't say it enough. This episode is amazing. It literally won real awards, not just my dumb Dundies.
Honey, I have the best trophy right here, aside from my Dundies.
The writers were nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Writing for this episode, and the director won a 2008 Directors Guild Award for Outstanding Directing in a Comedy. So there you have it. Okay guys, so now that I've set fire to everybody, that's it for the field guide for the wrap up of season 4. Season 4 is officially done now. I'm kind of sad. I love this season with all its highs and its lows. If you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe. Click the bell to get notified. In the comments, I'm sure you have tons to yell at me about my decisions or things I missed, things I should have talked about. But if you still need a little direction, tell me what you think should have earned the Dundies in each category. Feel free to put your own write-ins in. I hope you're enjoying this show. See you next time.